The hour of convening having arrived, all members will please come to the floor of the House and take their seats. All members will please come to the floor. I'm going to ask the clerk to ring the bell. All members will come to the floor of the House and take seats. We're about to have our morning roll call. We're about to have the morning roll call. All members, please make their way to their seats. We're going to have the call of the roll. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? Representative Glanton, are you voting for Representative Mayo? Okay. Not that hot in here yet. Maybe later. Thank you. Doorkeepers, clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers will please close the doors and keep them closed. We will have scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the gentleman from the 84th House District, Representative Ron Mayo. Representative Mayo.
Mr. Speaker, honorable representatives, it is with great pride I introduce our chaplain of the day. This anointed woman of God is my pastor and spiritual mother, and she certainly inspires me to let this little light of mine shine, not only through her words, her infectious personality, but through her actions. Reverend Dr. Cynthia L. Hale is the founding and senior pastor of the Ray of Hope Christian Church in Decatur, Georgia. The Ray of Hope Christian Church is a congregation that has a vision to impact and transform this present world into the kingdom of God through housing, healthcare, and education initiatives. Dr. Hale is a native of Roanoke, Virginia. Her natural talent in music led her to study at Hollins College in Virginia, where she received her Bachelor of Arts degree. She holds a Master of Divinity degree from Duke University and a Doctor of Ministry from United Theological Seminary in Dayton, Ohio. As a recipient of numerous honors and recognitions, Dr. Hale was inducted into the African American Biographies Hall of Fame and the Martin Luther King Board of Preachers of Morehouse College. In 2009, Dr. Hale was appointed by President Barack Obama to serve on the President's Commission on White House Fellowships. Dr. Hale is a dedicated and active member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. In 2012, she was honored by Ebony Magazine as part of the Power 100, a yearly compilation of the most influential African Americans in the country. Dr. Hale has been in ministry for 34 years. Her ministerial gift has drawn thousands, young and old, to witness the anointing of a woman totally sold out for the kingdom of God.
Speaker Ralston, thank you for your gracious and generous invitation at the request of Representative Mayo to be the chaplain of the day. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, the psalmist writes in 78 verses 70 through 72, "He chose David his servant and took him from the sheep pens. From tending the sheep, he brought him to be the shepherd of his people Israel. And David shepherded his people with integrity of heart. With skillful hands he led them." We are living in difficult times. The evidence is all around us. Discrimination, hate, and disrespect are the order of the day. People no longer practice civility in their interactions one with another. Gun violence is the way we settle our differences and work out inner turmoil. In Georgia, as well as in other parts of the nation, we continue to struggle with high unemployment, budget deficits, a need for educational reforms. Some would argue that this sad state of affairs is the result of our postmodern mentality, where there are no absolutes. Anything and everything goes. Despite the fact that we live in a world where there are no absolutes and the lines are blurred between right and wrong, nevertheless, the respect that leadership must have requires that one's ethics be without question. As a matter of fact, a leader must not only be between the lines of right and wrong, he or she must stay out of the gray areas. The health and wholeness of our world, our nation, and our state in particular is dependent on leadership. An institution or group of people can rise no higher than its leadership. What our state will become in the future will depend on you and the decisions that you make personally and corporately. It is for this reason that God chose you to lead like he chose David. Psalm 78 is a meditation on Israel's history from the Exodus out of Egypt to the choice of David as king of Israel. God took David from shepherding, leading, caring for sheep to leading the people of Israel. The choice of David was an act of grace. It was an act of grace towards David himself and an act of grace towards the people, providing them with a leader such as this. The same is true of each of you. Before the foundation of the world, God chose you. Then he created you and endowed you with everything that you need to lead this great people. Through your election by the people, God placed you on the grounds of your endowment, character, and fitness in this assignment. God selected David just as God selected you because of what is best for the people. God knew who would be needed at such a time like this to make the decisions that need to be made. So how shall you lead? Well, David gives us the model with skillfulness of hands and integrity of heart. Skillful hands refer to the knowledge, the ability, and the experience you need to execute your assignment. David's hands were skillful, whether he was holding a sword, a pen, or a scepter. David was a consummate professional, and you must be as well. Everything here must be done with excellence, no shortcuts, no missteps, no lack of precision and passion with which you handle your legislative responsibilities. Operating in excellence also means having the knowledge you will need to execute your duties and make wise decisions, which includes understanding all sides of the issues, being fully informed of the full implications of the choices and decisions you make. We, the people, deserve nothing less than your best. David shepherded the people with skillful hands, but also with integrity of heart. Integrity of heart refers to the fact that David's heart was wholly devoted to God and the good of the people. David was not a perfect man, you know that. David got into trouble. But when David fell short, when David messed up, he fessed up and asked God to create in him a clean heart. He shepherded the people with integrity of heart. The word integrity is defined as the state of being complete, unified, whole. John Maxwell says integrity is the most important ingredient in leadership because in order for the people to follow you, they must be able to trust you. When one has integrity, one's walk and one's talk match. You are who you are no matter where you are or who you are with. When one has integrity, one no longer conforms, no longer willing to allow others to squeeze you into their mold. You are your own person, and you live according to your own convictions. You are not a chameleon. You don't change with the environment. People with integrity are whole people. They can be identified by single-mindedness. People with integrity have nothing to hide and nothing to fear because your lives are an open book. A person of integrity is one who has established a system of values against which all of life is judged. Integrity is not what you do so much as who you are. And who you are will determine what you do. Integrity is conducting the business of and making decisions in the best interest of the state. Integrity is having the courage to stand and vote one's convictions and courageously make the hard decisions no matter what your friends think. Integrity is living a life that can be judged by God and the people. Integrity is willingness to set aside your differences regardless of where you live, who you work with, who you play with. Integrity is being honest and forthright. It's being accepting of all people. Every day of your life, you will be tempted to compromise what you believe in, to act in inappropriate ways. Every day of your life, you'll be tempted to choose the easy way out. But like David, you must lead with integrity. Integrity of heart. You know, integrity is a matter of the heart. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man or woman thinks in his or her heart, so is he or she. It is for this reason that the writer of Proverbs also tells us, above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. We must guard our hearts daily through self-examination and through prayer. We dare not wait until we come into the house for the chaplain to lead us in prayer. We must have our own time of prayer. Have a little talk with Jesus is the way my mama used to say it. Tell him all about it. He will hear your faintest cry, and he will answer by and by. We guard our hearts daily by praying the prayer that David prayed. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and guide me in the way everlasting. David shepherded the people with skillfulness of hands and integrity of heart, and so must you. Join me in prayer. God, give these men and women whom you have chosen and gifted beyond measure the grace to serve in this place and to represent you and the people in ways they never could have imagined. Oh God, what a privilege to serve in this place. And each one of these persons is duly prepared with life experiences and knowledge and ability to do the work with excellence. Now, God, I pray that you will bless them for the balance of this day and for the rest of their lives. It's in your awesome and mighty name that we pray. Hallelujah. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Chair recognizes the lady from the 123rd District, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, Chairman Sims.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal of the preceding legislative day and found it to be correct.
Chairman Sims, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Mr. O'Neill, the 146, moves the following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period of unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions, first reading and reference to bills and resolutions, second reading of bills and resolutions, reports of standing committees, third reading passage, uncontested local bills, morning orders, rules, calendar, privileged resolutions, through the resolution establishing the order of business for this legislative day.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions, the clerk will read.
House Bill 310 by Representative Wilkinson, 52nd, a bill being entitled 21 relating to ethics in government.
Ethics.
House Bill 311 by Representative Powell, 32nd, a bill being entitled 36 relating to local government.
Governmental affairs.
House Bill 312 by Representative Carson, the 46th, bill being entitled 33 relating to insurance.
Insurance.
House Bill 313 by Representative Taylor, the 79th, the bill being entitled 3 relating to alcoholic beverages.
Regulated industries.
House Bill 314 by Representative Taylor, the 79th, the bill being entitled 3 relating to alcoholic beverages.
Regulated industries.
House Bill 315 by Representative Cooper, the 43rd, the bill being entitled 43 relating to registered nurses.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 316 by Representative Pruitt of the 149th, bill being entitled 52 relating to abandoned vessels.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 317 by Representative Cooper of the 43rd, the bill being entitled 43, Medical Practice Act.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 318 by Representative Stevens, 164th, the bill being entitled 48, Georgia Tourism Development Act.
Economic Development and Tourism.
House Bill 319 by Representative Beasley Teague, 65th, bill being entitled relating to the city of Fairburn.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 320 by Representative Hardin, 148, bill being entitled 12, Solid Waste
Natural Resources and Environment.
House Bill 321 by Representative Beasley Teague, 65th, bill being entitled relating to the city of Fairburn.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 322 by Representative Sims, 169. Bill being entitled Act, amending Code Section 13858 related to enforcement of third parties' restrictive covenants.
Judiciary.
House Bill 323 by Representative Powell, 32nd. A bill being entitled Act, amending Title 40, Identification Regulation, Motor Vehicles.
Motor vehicles.
House Bill 324 by Representative Dahl, the 45th. A bill being entitled Act relating to requirement, procedures, verification, and law for the President of the United States.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 325 by Representative Scott, 76th. The bill being entitled Act, amending Title 20, Public School Disciplinary Tribunal.
Education.
House Bill 326 by Representative Scott, 76th. The bill being entitled Act, amending Title 20, Students in Elementary Secondary Education.
Education.
House Bill 327 by Representative Coleman, 97th. Bill being entitled Act, amending Title 20, and Act Flexibility Accountability Act, Student Achievement.
Education.
House Bill 328 by Representative Carter, 175th. Bill being entitled Act, Nonpartisan Nomination Election, Probate Court, Lowndes County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 329 by Representative Carter, 175th. Bill being entitled Act, creating Small Claims Court, Lowndes County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 330 by Representative Glant, the 75th. Bill being entitled Act, Penal Act Exemption ad valorem City of Jonesboro.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 331 by Representative Scott, 76th. Bill being entitled Act relating to regulation of early care education programs.
Education.
House Bill 332 by Representative Williamson, 115th. The bill being entitled Act, amending Title 43, Georgia Board of Nursing.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 333 by Representative Hill, the 22nd. Bill being entitled Act, Title 48, Ethics in Government, State
Ethics.
Administration. House Bill 334 by Representative Kelly, the 16th. Bill being entitled Act, New Charter, City of Harley.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Resolution 297 by Representative Beasley Teague, 65th. Requesting State Board of Education mandate monoxide detectors.
Education.
House Resolution 298 by Representative Hill, 22nd. A resolution proposed amendment to the Constitution, revised tax defaults, ratification or rejection.
Ethics.
Through the first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
HB 286 by Representative Hardin of the 148th, the bill to provide for the restructuring of the government of the City of Hawkinsville and Pulaski County. HB 287 by Representative Hatchett of the 150th, a bill to reassign the Division of Archives and History of the Office of the Secretary of State and transfer governance thereof to the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia. HB 288 by Representative Knight of the 130th, a bill relating to estate tax. HB 289 by Representative Kelly of the 16th, a bill relating to subject matter and definitions relative to fund transfers. HB 290 by Representative Dempsey of the 13th, a bill relating to general provisions relative to labor and industrial relations. HB 291 by Representative Knight of the 130th, a bill relating to professions and businesses. HB 292 by Representative Battles of the 15th, a bill relating to benefits under the Magistrate Retirement Fund of Georgia. HB 293 by Representative Rogers of the 29th, a bill relating to tuition equalization grants at private colleges and universities. HB 294 by Representative Caldwell of the 131st, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from Lamar County School District ad valorem taxes for educational purposes. HB 295 by Representative Battles of the 15th, a bill relating to revenue and taxation. HB 296 by Representative Powell of the 32nd, a bill relating to motor vehicles and traffic. HB 297 by Representative Buckner of the 137th, a bill relating to the state wildflower. HB 298 by Representative Dickey of the 140th, a bill relating to agricultural commodities promotions. HB 299 by Representative Watson of the 172nd, a bill relating to tax returns and the furnishing of information. HB 300 by Representative Mayo of the 84th, a bill relating to definitions regarding ad valorem taxation of property. HB 301 by Representative Weldon of the 3rd, a bill relating to licensure and regulation of the practices of electrical contracting, plumbing contracting, low voltage electrical contracting, utility contracting, and conditioned air contracting. HB 302 by Representative Broderick of the 4th, a bill relating to controlled substances. HB 303 by Representative Gardner of the 57th, a bill relating to dangerous instrumentalities and practices. HB 304 by Representative McCall of the 33rd, a bill relating to Freeport exemption. HB 305 by Representative Hughley of the 136th, a bill relating to policies in public schools prohibiting bullying. HB 306 by Representative Waits of the 60th, a bill to establish the Piedmont Altamaha Rail Authority. HB 307 by Representative Peak of the 141st, a bill relating to imposition rate collection and assessment of state income taxes. HB 308 by Representative Peak of the 141st, a bill relating to tax credits and rehabilitation of historic structures. HB 309 by Representative Harbin of the 122nd, a bill relating to insurance coverage for autism. HR 272 by Representative Epps of the 144th, resolution honoring the life of Mr. K.S. Bubba Nobles Jr. and dedicating a bridge in his memory. HR 273 by Representative Cook of the 18th, a resolution requesting the United States Congress to repeal the 17th Amendment of the United States Constitution. HR 274, Representative Smith of the 134th, a resolution requesting the Department of the Army carefully consider the socioeconomic impact of pomegranate environmental assessment for Army 2020 force restructuring will have on Fort Benning, Georgia, and the surrounding region. H.R. 275 by Representative Jones of the 47th, a resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution to the state of Georgia so as to provide that the recreation of a previously existing county for which was merged into another county may be accomplished by law subject to the approval of the voters therein and subject to certain conditions. H.R. 276 by Representative Geisinger of the 48th, a resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution to the state of Georgia so as to provide the recreation of a previously existing county which was merged into another county may be accomplished by law, subject to the approval of the voters therein and subject to certain conditions. H.R. 277 by Representative Martin of the 49th, a resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution to the state of Georgia so as to provide for the recreation of a previously existing county which was merged into another county may be accomplished by law subject to the approval of the voters therein and subject to certain conditions. H.R. 278 by Representative Riley of the 50th, a resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution of the state of Georgia so as to provide that the recreation of a previously existing county which was merged into another county may be accomplished by law subject to the approval of the voters therein and subject to certain conditions. H.R. 279 by Representative Willard of the 51st, a resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution of the state of Georgia so as to provide that the recreation of a previously existing county which was merged into another county may be accomplished by law subject to the approval of the voters therein and subject to certain conditions. H.R. 280 by Representative Jones of the 53rd, a resolution urging the governor to expand Medicaid coverage under the Affordable Care Act. H.R. 281 by Representative Roberts of the 155th, a resolution providing that Tift County be so named in honor of the late Henry Harding Tift. Senate Bill 65 by Senator Unterman of the 45th, a bill relating to mental health. Senate Bill 66 by Senator Stone of the 23rd, a bill relating to courts. Through second readers.
Reports of standing committees. The clerk will read.
Representative McCall, 33rd, Chairman Committee on Agriculture and Consumer Affairs, submitted following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Agriculture and Consumer Affairs has consideration of the following bill of the House. Instruct me to report the same back to the House. The following recommendation. House Bill 234, due pass, respectively submitted. Representative McCall, Chairman. Representative Coleman, the 97th, Chairman Committee on Education, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Education has consideration of the following bill of the House. Instruct me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 123, due pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted. Representative Coleman, Chairman. Representative Burns, 159, Chairman Committee on Game, Fish, and Parks, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Game, Fish, and Parks has in consideration the following bill. The House instruct me to report the same back to the House following recommendation. House Bill 155, due pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted. Representative Burns, Chairman. Representative Benton, 31st, Chairman Committee on Human Relations and Aging, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Human Relations and Aging had in consideration the following bill. The House instruct me to report the same back to the House following recommendation. House Bill 290, due pass, respectfully submitted. Representative Benton, Chairman. Representative Smith, 134, Chairman Committee on Insurance, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Insurance had in consideration the following bills of the House. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 235, due pass by substitute. House Bill 246, House Bill 254, due pass, respectfully submitted. Representative Smith, Chairman. Representative Sims, 169, Chairman Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination had in consideration the following bills of the House and instructed me to report the same back to the House following recommendation. House Bill 247, 273, 277, 278, 281, due pass, respectfully submitted. Representative Sims, Chairman. Representative Powell, 32nd. Chairman Committee on Public Safety, Homeland Security, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Public Safety, Homeland Security has had in consideration the following bills of the House, instructing me to report the same back to the House following recommendation. House Bill 255, due pass. House Bill 35, due pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted. Representative Powell, Chairman. Through the committee reports. Would he keep the pretty copy? Okay. Yes, sir.
We have a local calendar today. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. House will be in order. If there is no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so ordered. The clerk will read the local calendar.
House Bill 247, Representative Battles, 15th, Bartow County. House Bill 273, Representative Randall, 142nd, Bibb County. House Bill 277, Representative Green, 151st, Randolph County. House Bill 278, Representative Green, 151st, Calhoun, Early Counties. House Bill 281, Representative Carson, 46. Bills having been before the House Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination. Committee recommends that these local bills do pass, and bills being read today for the third time through the local calendar.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? The chair hears none and the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which was favorable to the passage of the bills? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of the bills on the local calendar. The ayes are 151, the nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. We're going on now to morning orders. If you have signed up for a morning order, please make your way to the front of the chamber. And we have a number of morning orders today. The chair is going to ask that members limit their comments to 1 minute each. 1 minute each on morning orders. Chair recognizes for a morning order Chairman Battles and Representative Coomer for a morning order. Just a minute, Mr. Chairman. Going to ask members to please take their seats or leave the floor if you have business that's more important. Clear the aisles. The members in the well are entitled to your respect and attention if you're on the floor. Chairman Battles and Representative Coomer will proceed. There looks like going to be joined by Representative Kelly and Representative Jaspers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a joy for me and our delegation from Bartow County to welcome to the House our leadership Bartow. They're in the gallery, along with our president, who has a familiar name to many of you as Joe Frank Harris, Jr., past governor of the state of Georgia. And would they stand and would you give them a warm welcome from the House this morning? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes for a morning order Chairman Jacobs, Representative Taylor, and Representative Geisinger. I'm going to ask the House to please be at order. House will continue to be at order. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I haven't done a morning order in several legislative sessions at this point, and I come up here this morning to honor the life and memory of a dear friend and neighbor, Senator Jim Tysinger. There are members of this body who have a longer history with Senator Tysinger, but I met him when I knocked on doors for my first campaign in 2004. knocked on his door, and Loretta Tysinger, his wife, opened the door and looked me in the eyes and said, well, you know, we're not voting for you. And I said, well, I understand that, but I want to meet Jim Tysinger. And we went out to his back porch and sat on his back porch for an hour and talked over a long list of issues. And Jim Tysinger, since then, has been an invaluable source of advice, sometimes solicited, sometimes unsolicited, but always appreciated for me and for many members of this body, frankly, and of the Senate as well. There wasn't anything in our community where Senator Tysinger, through his 30 years of service in the state Senate and more than 45 years of political involvement, couldn't bring to bear a tremendous insight. Jim Tysinger's impact on our community, this General Assembly, the Georgia Republican Party, and our state cannot be overstated. This past weekend, Representatives Taylor and Geisinger and Riley and Senator Miller and I had the pleasure of attending the Lincoln Day dinner that he started. Every Saturday morning, DeKalb County residents of both political parties and of every walk of life come together to discuss issues of the day at the breakfast forum he started. The last time I saw Jim was in December for the rededication of the interchange at I-285 and Ashford-Dunwoody Road that bears his name. My heart goes out to Loretta Tysinger, and I will personally miss the advice and counsel of Jim Tysinger. He was a gentleman in every sense of the word. He was a statesman in every sense of the word. He was a great friend, and I would like to give Representative Geisinger and Representative Taylor an opportunity to say a couple words as well.
Senator Tysinger was a dear friend, a companion, and a gentleman. To give you a little light side of it, he ran in 1968, and he almost ran for this House. Jim lived in, as I did, a two-member House district. So we were going to run as a team as Guy and Ty, the Singer twins. Obviously, a few days before we were to qualify, he changed his mind and said, no, I need to be across the hall, and ran against a Democrat and defeated him, and served there ever since. A fine gentleman, a World War II veteran, a gentleman who acquired malaria when he was in the Philippines and had attacks of it over his lifetime. He will be greatly missed.
There's not a lot that I can add to what Mike and Harry have said, but I just want to say, again, Jim was just a great public servant, a great friend to all of us, a role model and mentor to me in particular. He counseled me when I first ran for office, and above all, the epitome of a true Christian gentleman. Thank you.
If I could ask the members of the House to join me in a moment of silence in memory of Senator Jim Tysinger. Thank you. I have a resolution honoring Senator Tysinger's life and memory. It's signed by the Speaker, Representatives Taylor, Geisinger, Oliver, Wilkinson, and Willard, and I would ask any other members of the House who would like to sign the resolution to come up here. It'll be at the rostrum, and we'll get it introduced today. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Welch for a morning order. Representative Welch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If I could ask for the Henry County delegation members to join me down here at the well. Ms. Stevenson, if you could. Thank you. We want to welcome folks from Henry County that have joined us today. You have in your seats and on your desk a bag from Henry County. You'll take note that we have Shane's Rib Shack, your barbecue sauce from Shane's. That's in Dale's district. The original Rib Shack is there at the corner of 42 and East Lake Road. In case you're down our way, come and join for some good ribs. Also, you'll see there we have Henry County's own Herman Cain is in there with a Southern Journal magazine you'll have to remember Henry County. And don't forget to stop by on your way down, especially all the folks headed south on I-75. Take that last stop in Locust Grove, stop into the Tanger Outlet Mall, do some shopping. There's a couple of coupons in there for you to entice you to stay and do some shopping. We appreciate it. Thank you very much for being here. We want to welcome the folks from Henry County. If there's anyone from Henry County, if you would please rise, we'd just like to welcome you with a warm round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Spencer for a morning order. Representative Spencer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've come to rise to you all this morning to bring this resolution to you to notify you that I was inspired to come here because of last night's State of the Union address. The President mentioned that we need to still be a beacon of freedom, but I questioned, how can we still be a beacon of freedom if we are enslaved by so much debt? So what this resolution does, it brings a bipartisan commission together, because this is a bipartisan problem, our debt, to study our dependency on federal funds. If you're interested in signing this, please get with me at my desk, or I'll be at the ante room. Pull me to the side. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Sheldon for a morning order. Chairman Sheldon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask my fellow Gwinnetians to please join me. You love the Gwinnetian, yeah. But today, as you've seen on your desk, it's Gwinnett Day at the Capitol, and we're definitely proud of our community and our delegation. We have an incredible delegation representing us in Gwinnett County. Just want to give you kind of a few little facts about Gwinnett County. Many of you know them for years. You know, you ride through 85 and you see the water tower. Success lives here, and definitely we have proven that. Gwinnett's home to 3 Fortune 500 companies. We have in the U.S. or global headquarters over 120 international companies. We have an incredible community that works well together, definitely collaborative efforts, and we have one of the lowest unemployment rates in the 5 metro counties, and that definitely comes from a lot of work, from hard work from the community. In 2012 alone, 38 companies decided to expand or relocate in Gwinnett. Another little tidbit of information a lot of people don't realize is the Gwinnett County public school system is 61% minority. We have an extremely diverse community, and over 100 languages are taught or spoken in our Gwinnett County schools. So we're very proud of what we've been able to accomplish, and I just want to recognize our leaders from Gwinnett County that are with us today. If you guys would please stand. And you found on your desk, you have a little gift from Georgia Gwinnett College, which is one of the newest colleges in the state, and we were over 9,000 in student enrollment, which is incredible. Thank you guys for allowing us to do that. And tonight, 5 o'clock, 7, we'll be down at the depot, so definitely come by, drop in, and tell us hi, and say hello to everybody. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman McCall for a morning order. Chairman McCall.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And what Chairman Sheldon didn't tell y'all is it takes 33,000 milk cows every day to keep that dairy plant running in Gwinnett County. You know, you'll find a folder on your desk, and don't do like I do and turn around and throw it in that little box right behind you. It's got a bunch of pyramids and pie charts in it, but it talks about the workforce that affects each and every one of us from Blue Ridge to Bainbridge. And it's the workforce that catches chickens, plants flowers, and changes the sheets in your hospitals and hotels. So y'all look at it and kind of absorb a little of it. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Pruitt for a morning order. Chairman Pruitt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This morning I'm proud to say I've got some guests here from back home. It always makes me feel great to have visitors come up. And we have Leadership Dodge, our future leadership from Dodge County and Eastman, Georgia area. And if you stand and welcome them, I'd appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representatives Mickey Stevens and Representative Alexander for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
At this time, will Representative Tyrone Brooks please stand? Thank you.
Today in Black History, I honor one of our very own, a dynamic public speaker, lifelong civil rights worker, and a servant of the people. These powerful labels are frequently used to describe one of the most dedicated, hardworking, and energetic legislators in the history of Georgia General Assembly. This person is known all over the world for his accomplishments in the General Assembly and the work to change the Georgia flag. Representative Tyrone Brooks, Sr., born in Wilkes County, Georgia, and raised in Warrenton, Georgia. He received his education at some of the finest institutions such as Atlanta University and the Harvard University John F. Kennedy School of Government. Tyrone began his career in public service as an activist for civil and human rights at age 15. As a volunteer with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, he became a full-time staffer of the organization in 1967 under Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., under the leadership of some of the most prominent civil rights leaders in the South, such as Dr. King, Reverend Ralph David Abernathy, Reverend Jose Williams, and Dr. Joseph E. Lowry. Tyrone served in many positions locally and nationally. Representative Brooks was elected in 1980 and represents House District 55 in this great assembly. In 2008, Tyrone was inducted into the International Civil Rights Walk of Fame. He has been at the forefront and involved in the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality since 1960, and has been jailed 66 times for civil rights work. Fellow members, Tyrone Brooks is not only African American history, he is American history.
Chair recognizes Chairman Cooper for a morning order. Chairman Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is Lupus Awareness Day, and lupus is an autoimmune disease that causes inflammation and damage to virtually any organ in the body, but especially the skin, the blood, the joints, and the kidneys are very susceptible to lupus. And lupus is very misunderstood. Patients often wander from one physician to another trying to find out what's wrong with them. In fact, they usually see more than 3 doctors before they're diagnosed with lupus. It affects mainly young women in their childbearing age, but it can affect children and women and men. So the Lupus Society is trying to promote more education, more awareness of this disease, and there are people here today, I think they're wearing purple, and so if you are here to help make us more aware of lupus, would you please stand? And would my colleagues give them a round of applause for their work in trying to make people know more about this disease? Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Chuck Williams and Representative Beverly for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a group of young people at the Capitol today, and I'm not sure if they're in the gallery, the GCAPS program. If anybody from GCAPS is here, would y'all stand and let us recognize you? will tell you. GCAPS is one of the best kept secrets in the state of Georgia. It's an acronym for Georgia Civic Awareness Program for Students. It's a cooperative venture between the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia and the Georgia 4-H program. I've seen it in action. I know we've got students here today from Oconee, Bibb County, and Rockdale County. If you're interested in it, please talk to your county commissioners or your local 4-H agent about getting your county involved. Thank you very much. Thank you, James.
House will remain in order. We're about to honor some very distinguished Georgians. The chair will recognize the chair of the Retirement Committee, Chairman Battles, for an invite resolution. Chairman Battles.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And as the group I'm going to ask the clerk to please read the resolution.
House Resolution 182 by Representative Battles the 15th, Representative Coomer the 14th, Representative Jaspers the 11th, a resolution honoring Bartow County Commissioner Clarence Brown upon the occasion of his retirement. Be resolved by this House of Representatives, members of this body honor County Commissioner Clarence Brown for his outstanding accomplishments that have so benefited Bartow County, and invite Mr. Brown to be recognized by this House of Representatives at a date and upon a time to be designated by the Speaker of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And we are honored today to have Clarence Brown, his beautiful wife, and his daughters, son-in-laws are here, as long as some of those that have served with him in his long career as Commissioner of Bartow County. In addition to that, we also have our new County Commissioner, Steve Taylor, that is here with us this morning. We are unique in that we still have a single commissioner. And one of the things that has been accomplished by that is that we have been able to attract some industry into Bartow County because literally those industries only had to talk to one person. And that's made a great difference in our being able to land those significant companies. But that's not the only thing that he's done. He's also been the leader of the Association of County Commissioners as president. He's served in roles of leadership, not only in the state, but also nationally with a clean air program that he began and got some national recognition for that. And so on his retirement, after 30 plus years in county government and 21 years as our county commissioner, we wanted to be able to honor him today and to let him know how much we appreciated all of his efforts. And we're going to miss him, but we know that he's going to be around, and we're going to be able to continue to kind of use his institutional knowledge in the days to come. So would you honor me by honoring him this morning, Commissioner Clarence Brown.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And thank you, Paul, the delegation. Paul Ballard's a good friend of mine, and I appreciate what y'all have done. Representatives, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for making the tough decisions every day that you come down here. And I want to say thanks to my wife and the Commissioner's office that I'm no longer in for coming down here today, and my daughters and son-in-laws. And it's just an honor for me to stand up here. You know, I watch every night on TV some of the things that y'all do, and I thought I would be standing in the well, and it's an honor to be standing up here where the speaker stands. So that is a privilege in itself, and I really appreciate the proclamation today that y'all have done, and it's good to see some old friends out there today that I've been knowing for quite some time, and I just can't say thanks enough to you for this proclamation that you've done, and again, thank you, Representative Paul Battles.
Thank you. Okay. We're going to get a picture here.
Hey, Darryl, how are you, partner?
Chair recognizes Representative Rutledge for an invite resolution. Representative Rutledge.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's an honor, and I'm very proud to be able to stand before you today, ladies and gentlemen of the House, to recognize a group of young men and their leaders from Eagles Landing Christian Academy, the varsity football team from 2012. Mr. Clerk, would you mind reading a resolution?
House Resolution 164 by Representative Rutledge, the 109th, Representative Welch, 110th, Representative Knight, 130th, Representative Strickland, 111th, Representative Yates, the 73rd, and many others, a resolution recognizing and commending the Eagles Landing Christian Academy football team on their outstanding 2012 season and inviting the team to be recognized by this House of Representatives at a date and time to be designated by the Speaker of this House.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. You know, this morning I was thinking, you know, we have a lot of great athletes I've met in this chamber. And I was just wondering if you would stand up if you've ever played on a NFL Super Bowl championship team. No?
Majority leader.
Majority leader? Okay.
Majority.
How about if you've ever played on an NCAA national championship team? Douglas? Okay. No? How about if you've ever played on a Georgia high school title championship team? Stand up. Well, please join in welcoming the 2012 Class A champions from Eagles Landing Christian Academy. And I would just like to introduce some folks here, the leaders from Eagles Landing. Headmaster Chambers, Athletic Director Coach Queen, and the head coach, Coach Guess. And joining me here are 5 seniors. And joining me is Jake Martin, Cole Dellinger, Patrick Bushell, and also Marquise Griffin, who just signed his letter of intent last week for the Air Force. And standing to my immediate right, this little short fella, is Isaac Rochelle. He just signed last week with Notre Dame. And just to let everyone know, I had a private conversation with Isaac this morning. I pulled him aside and I asked him, I said, listen, when you get to South Bend, make sure the girls you date, you can actually kiss goodnight. So Mr. Isaac would like to address the Assembly.
I want to start off by thanking Representative Rutledge for the opportunity, and Mr. Speaker. And also, once again, I kind of want to recap on the guys up here with me, Marquise Griffin, Patrick Busher, Jake Martin, and Cole Dillinger, because they've been leaders, and they're also leaders throughout the school academically and socially. And then obviously, I want to take a second to talk about the team real quick. Great team. We were all really close. We had a lot of, we just clicked, we meshed. So that's our team sitting back there. And then also the coaches, like he said, Coach Guest, he's a great spiritual leader and a great just leader in general, and obviously a good coach. But lastly, I want to talk about our administration, Mr. Gillum's back there, and then also Mr. Chambers up here, because I always stand by your football team is only as good as your administration, because they kind of push the program. And then also, most importantly, we dedicated our whole season to Jesus Christ, and that was the biggest thing for us. And we just kind of got behind it and went with it and trusted Coach Guest and trusted Christ, and I think that's what led us to the state championship. But I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
House will remain in order. The chair recognizes Representative Welch for an invite resolution. Representative Welch.
Just a little hint, subtle hint.
Tell you what.
Did you get some of the pound cake?
Oh, is that from him?
Yes, sir.
I saw it in there. I have some of that.
Good morning. Thank you for the honor to be before you to present this invite resolution. If the clerk would read the resolution, please.
House Resolution 175, Representative Welch, 110th, Representative Rutledge, 109th, Representative Stevenson, 90th, Representative Scott, 76th, Representative Douglas, 78th, and many others, a resolution commending Mr. Warren Holder on his outstanding public service and inviting Mr. Holder to be recognized by this House of Representatives upon a date and time to be designated by the Speaker of this House.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. It is an honor. The gentleman to my right is Warren Holder. He has been an uncle to me in our political arena. He's been a tremendous leader, a pillar of our community. He has had a tremendous tenure of public service in Henry County, dating back to his tenure on the City of Locust Grove City Council, to his term on the Board of Education, and most recently with the Board of Commissioners. Now, when I got a call from Wikipedia a few weeks ago when they heard about the resolution, and they said, well, what we'd like to do is update our website to put a picture of a true public servant there, and we'd like to put Mr. Holder up there as an example. And I had to write back that we would do so, but may I please get a picture of him that's a lot younger, more hair, a little trimmer and slimmer. They said that'd be fine. But I'd like to give a moment to Mr. Holder to speak, but we're very honored to have him for his service to Henry County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Andy, and I will call him Andy because he's almost like a son of mine. I know you don't want to hear a long speech, don't intend to give it to you, but I do want to say thank you. I have been in public service since 1971 without a break. And I'm not a little bit different from the guy from Bartow County earlier that retired. The people retired me. I was part of the incumbency rejection program that occurred in the last election process. Many of us know about that. But I do want to say thank you. It's been a long ride. It's been a good ride. I've enjoyed it. I've learned a lot. I've met a lot of people. One of the things that I regret is that we have today one of the strongest, in my opinion, legislative delegations from Henry County that we've ever had, that I've had an interaction with in 40 years, and I won't be around to be involved with them. But I do, again, say thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a good ride.
Thank you. Good to see you.
House will continue to be in order. The chair recognizes Representative Tyrone Brooks, who we just honored, to introduce the Doctor of the Day. Representative Brooks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear friend. Today's Doctor of the Day is Dr. David Blake, a native of the Bronx, New York. He graduated from Northside High School, where my son, Tyrone Jr., attended. He's also a graduate of Howard University and the Morehouse School of Medicine. Dr. Blake is also the medical director of the Multi-Care Holistic Health Center, as well as Family First Healthcare, PC, in Lithia Springs, and also serves as ringside physician for the State of Georgia Boxing Commission, covering boxing and mixed martial arts throughout the state of Georgia. Dr. Blake.
Good to have you with us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you all, and thank you very much for that introduction. Thank you, Representative Brooks. It's an honor to be here today. Thank you for your service that you give to our great state. Thank you for the time, energy, and effort that you put forth in maintaining our health care system, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. As you heard, I practice medicine here in the city of Atlanta, but also in the state. I have gone to Reidsville, Georgia, specifically in the emergency department to work there, and I found that the patients have to use the emergency department for their primary care, specifically for pediatrics, because there is no pediatrician locally, and they can't afford to drive to the nearest town, which is 10 miles away, to take care of their children. So what you can do to help us to maintain health care in our great state of Georgia so that all of our children can grow up to be healthy and all of our adults can age gracefully will be greatly appreciated. Thank you again.
We are about to go on to the rules calendar. If you have a measure that you're going to present on the calendar, then you need to stay close with us. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 103. House Bill 103.
House Bill 103 by Representative Shaw, 176. The bill being entitled Act Title 33, relating to group life insurance, allow the Commissioner issuance of a group life insurance policy to certain groups as approved by the Commissioner of Insurance, to remove participation requirement for the extension of group life policy coverage to dependents of employees or members. The bill having been before the House Committee on Insurance, the committee recommends that the bill do pass. The bill is being read today for its third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Shaw to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, today I bring to you House Bill 103. This is actually the same bill we voted out of here last year. I don't think we had a single no vote. It deals with discretionary groups and when it comes to life insurance provisions in the state. All this bill does is brings the life insurance provisions where the insurance commissioner can approve a discretionary group to be able to go out to the market and shop for group insurance. It brings the life insurance part in line with what we're already doing with health insurance. Last year when we had the bill, I think we would have been around number 30 in doing this as far as the number of states doing this. Now we're number 49. And so this is part of the American Council on Life Insurance Insurers recommendations from a study done about 5 years ago. So that's quite simply all there is to it, and I'd ask for your favorable consideration.
You have no questions.
Thank you.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on House Bill 103? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 103 will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? Have all members now voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of House Bill 103, the ayes are 173, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 198. House Bill 198.
House Bill 198 by Representative Smith of the 134th. A bill to be entitled Amendment Title 33 relating to insurance, so as provide for licensing health insurance navigators under the Federal Patient Protection Affordable Care Act, to provide for definitions, provide the duties of the Commissioner of Insurance with respect to the foregoing. Bill having been for the House Committee on Insurance, the committee recommends that this bill do pass by way of a committee substitute. Bill is being read today for its third time.
Chair recognizes the Chairman of the Insurance Committee, Chairman Smith, to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Affordable Care Act may, I want to emphasize may, cause the formation of health insurance exchanges operating in Georgia under federal law and employing navigators or navigator entities whose role will be to direct individuals and companies in health insurance policies. All this bill does is pretty simple. It finds that licensing and regulation of such navigator entities under the Affordable Health Care Act is necessary to ensure that they are trained and knowledgeable in the subject matter of individual and group health life plans and insurance coverage, and we do this for the safety of our citizens. Now, this bill, all it does is set some guidelines for training and licensing. It'll all be under the Commissioner of Insurance. If they meet certain qualifications, they may not have to go through the training. For example, say someone is retired, they still have their insurance license, they may not have to go through the training because they already met the criteria. But if they don't meet the certain qualifying criteria by the insurance commissioner, then they have to take 35 hours of training, then they have to pass an exam to be sure they understand what the material is, have to be 18 years of age or older, and even once they get this license, in order to continue to being a navigator and assisting people with the exchange system, they will have to take continuing ed classes. They will only be compensated based on the federal act. And all this does, like I said in summary, the goal of HB 198 is to ensure navigators are qualified and fall under the jurisdiction of the insurance commissioner. Now, you'll notice in one other area in the bill where it excludes someone on lines 33 through 36, where it talks about patient navigators. This is a different group of navigators. They have nothing to do with the Affordable Care Act. These are individuals who assist someone, say, for an example, who's been diagnosed with cancer. It helps them work through the insurance. It helps them work through the hospital appointments, through the doctor's appointments, and just helps them through that stressful period of time. And it just says that they will not be impacted by this particular piece of legislation. Mr. Speaker, that's in short the message of this bill. I'll gladly entertain some questions.
You have a question?
Yes, sir.
Do you yield?
Yes, sir.
Chair recognizes Representative Hawkins to your right for a question.
Does the member yield?
Yes, sir.
Is it true that this bill does not initiate, begin, or establish health care exchanges in the state of Georgia?
No, sir. All it does is says that if a health care exchange is formed by the federal government, that these individuals who perform as navigators will have to be trained, licensed, and knowledgeable in their subject matter.
Does the member yield?
Yes, sir.
So this does not promote exchanges either?
No,
and
sir.
This is only for the safety of the citizens of Georgia?
You're exactly right.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Speaker, if there are no other questions,
You have no other questions.
I'll yield the will and ask for your favorable consideration.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on House Bill 198? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of House Bill 198 will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of House Bill 198. The ayes are 154, the nays are 16. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 50. House Bill 50.
House Bill 50 by Representative Cooper of the 43rd. Bill to be entitled Act Amendment Title 43 relating to nurses who require mandatory reporting for nurses and related matters. Bill has been for the House Committee on Health and Human Services. The committee recommends bill passed by substitute. Bill is being read today for its third time.
Chair recognizes the Chair of the Health and Human Services Committee, Chairman Cooper, to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I bring today the House of Health and Human Services Committee substitute to House Bill 50. This is a nursing bill, but more than a nursing bill, it is a patient safety bill. It is going to require mandatory reporting of major incidences that put patients in jeopardy. About 2 years ago, I got a call from a new stepfather of 3 young boys. And he was very, very upset because the boys, their father had just died from an overdose. That father was a nurse anesthetist. And 2 years earlier, he had been caught in Cartersville at a hospital shooting up in the surgical suite. He was let go, but no one reported his behavior to the Board of Nursing. And friends got him jobs for the next 2 years until he OD'd. And this stepfather was very upset because no one reported him, so that he might have gotten help and that those 3 boys would still have a father. So this bill is the bill that came through the House last year. It got over into the Senate and got held up on the last night. But basically it requires that if hospital people, another nurse, a physician, they see something that puts patients at jeopardy, serious things like a patient shooting up, a nurse that is abusing alcohol, somebody practicing with a false license and they're not really a nurse. You read about that happening in the medical profession every once in a while, but it actually happens in the nursing profession also. They are required to report that to the Board of Nursing so that the Board of Nursing can begin disciplinary actions. So basically that is the bill. The bill does give immunity to the person reporting, and it gives immunity to the doctor or the hospital or the nursing home for reporting. And we did that because, unfortunately, if people think there's a possibility of being sued, they don't want to do what they morally should do and report the incidents. We have 160,000 nurses in this state. We're moving on up toward 200,000. That includes LPNs, registered nurses, and advanced practice nurses. They are the people that are with your loved ones more than anyone else when they're in the hospital. And we want to make sure that they are not practicing in an impaired manner. I ask Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I will yield the will and ask my colleagues for a favorable vote on the substitute to House Bill 50. Thank you.
You have a question if you care to yield.
Yes, sir, I'll yield for 1 or 2.
Chair recognizes Representative Buckner to your left for a question.
Does the gentlelady yield?
Yes, I will.
I've been asked a question. If the nurse is confronted that she's suspected of, or he of using a substance, and they say they want to go into treatment, will their license still be in jeopardy if they go into treatment, or does this bill address that in any way?
The bill does address it. The Board of Nursing can set up an alternative programs, just like the Board of Medicine has, where they can go into treatment. That would be up to the board, and depending on the significance and the degree. And that would be at the cost of the nurse that has the problem.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I'll yield the well, and I would appreciate your favorable vote on the substitute to House Bill 50. Thank you.
You had no other questions. The lady has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 50 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. All members voted. All members voted. If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of House Bill 50. The ayes are 152, the nays are 16. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 135. House Bill 135.
House Bill 135, Representative Welch of 110. Bill to be entitled Act, amending Code Section 3633.5 relating to anti-litem notice of municipalities, so provided that such notices shall specify the amount of damages sought to provide for the service of such notices. Bill having been for the House Committee on Judiciary, the committee recommends bill passed by committee substitute. Bill's being read today for the third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Welch to present the bill. Representative Welch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, I have before you House Bill 135. Very briefly, this bill corrects a little bit of deviation in case law. The courts have allowed for plaintiffs' lawyers to sue cities without specifying the damage amount that they seek. And under our current state law, in order to protect the taxpayers of the cities, a plaintiff's lawyer is required to submit the claims of damages, and case law is construed it that you don't have to actually put a dollar amount in there. Well, that makes it very difficult to settle a case if you don't know how much someone is seeking. This bill would correct that deviation in the case law, would mandate that someone serving an anti-litem notice on the cities must specify a damage amount so that the city council could determine whether or not it's in the best interest of the taxpayers to settle and resolve that case or move on to litigation. It also specifies the person to whom is supposed to receive the notice and the method by which they're supposed to receive that notice. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them. I'll yield for questions.
You have a question. Do you care to yield?
Yes, I do.
Chair recognizes the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Chairman Willard, to your right for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ms. West, will you yield, please?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned cities. Does it not also apply to county governments on the same basis?
No, sir. It only applies to cities.
Thank you.
If there are any other questions, I will yield for those.
You have another question if you care to yield.
Yes, sir, I will.
Chair recognizes the Majority Caucus Whip, Representative Lindsay, to your right for a question.
I do.
So could you please thank people from Henry County for giving me all the goodies I can give my wife for Valentine's Day?
Yes, sir. I'll pass that on. I got a box of chocolates I need to give to you as well. That's not from me, but just there's some pound cake also in there from Henry County, homemade pound cake that please feel free to take home.
Will that fit in the bag as well?
Yes, sir. It's that big. Yes. Thank you.
You have no further questions.
Thank you. Then I yield the well.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on House Bill 135? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? Chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 135 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of House Bill 135. The ayes are 170, the nays are 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 60.
House Bill 60 by Representative Holt, 112, a bill being entitled amendment Title 16 relating to carrying, possession of firearms, providing exemption from certain laws regarding the carrying and possession of firearms by retired judges. The bill having been before the House Committee on Public Safety, Homeland Security. The committee recommends the bill do pass by committee substitute. The bill is being read today for the third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Holt to present the bill. Representative Holt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen. HB 60 stems from a constituent issue in which I have a retired juvenile court judge who is not receiving carry privileges that other retired juvenile court judges are receiving, and it's because he is retired under the ACCG system, whereas the other folks are under the state system. When I took this bill into committee, we realized there might be some further inconsistencies and also some difficulties of language. So the conclusion we came to was, let's just do this cleanly by extending these privileges to all judges, active and retired. You should have a handout on your desk that shows a little bit of a before and after comparison of who will have the privileges. The shaded area shows those who will have the privileges. Also, when I took the bill into rules, a very valid question came up: would this change in some fashion result in people receiving carry privileges that most certainly should not be? Say, for example, someone who had a felony conviction of some sort. So I put that question to council, and they drafted me an opinion letter. You should also have a copy of that on your desks. The short answer is that no, the changes of HB 60 should not be creating that situation. That's pretty much everything the bill does, and Mr. Speaker, if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
You have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you yield?
Yes, sir.
Chair recognizes Chairman Powell to your right for a question.
Would the gentleman yield?
I do.
What is the definition of retired judge?
Well, I guess, they have to have retired successfully, having successfully served, in other words.
I'll give you an example. John Meadows was a judge in Calhoun for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was a judge for 10 years in Camilla. Now, are we retired judges and we'd come under this bill?
Well, did you actually serve long enough and participate in a retirement system such that
is that what
you're receiving benefits? I think that's what this section of code is doing, yes. It's treating it that way.
Well, darn, Meadows, you win.
I was hoping you had two better examples of... It's nice to know that you're not judges anymore, retired or not. You have another question.
Another question? Yes, sir.
Rules Committee Chairman waives his question, which probably is a good thing for the author.
Any more questions, sir?
You have no further questions.
Well, thank you. I'd appreciate your favorable consideration of HB 60, and I yield the well.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 60 will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of House Bill 60. The ayes are 167. The nays are 3. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. What purpose does Chairman Meadows rise?
I'd like to make a motion.
State your motion.
I'd like to make a motion that House Bill 124 be returned to rules. The chairman of Regulated Industries has agreed.
Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 124, Representative Harold, the 106, Bill amending Title Act, amending Code Section 337 relating to local authorization regulation sales of alcoholic beverages on Sunday.
On the motion of the Chairman of the Rules Committee that House Bill 124 be recommitted to the Rules Committee, is there objection? The chair hears none, and it is so ordered. What purpose does Representative Dukes rise?
To make a motion, Mr. Speaker.
State your motion.
I move that House Bill 233 be withdrawn from the Committee of Ways and Means and to be recommitted to the Committee of Intergovernmental Cooperation. I've spoken with the chairmen of both committees, and they are in accordance with the move.
Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 233, Representative Dukes, 154th, Bill to be entitled Act to authorize the governing authority of the City of Albany to levy an excise tax under Code Section 4830-1351.
On the motion of the gentleman that House Bill 233 be withdrawn from the Ways and Means Committee and recommitted to the Intergovernmental Coordination Committee, is there objection? The chair hears none. It is so ordered. Clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions. If you have an announcement and you have signed up, then be making your way to the front of the chamber. Clerk will read.
This first resolution is an invitation resolution being read for the first time today, referred to Committee on Rules. A resolution by Representative Drenner, the 85th, recognizing the Institute for Georgia Environmental Leadership, IGEL, inviting its members to be recognized by the House of Representatives. The following resolutions are privileged resolutions being read for the first time today for adoption by this House. A resolution by Representative Jacobs, the 80th, honoring the life and memory of James W. Tysinger. Resolution by Representative Deffenbaugh, the 1st, recognizing commending Blake Pardon. Resolution by Representative Welch, 110th, recognizing commending Kay Pippin on the occasion of her retirement. Resolution by Representative O'Neill, the 146th, recognizing commending Colonel Mitchell Buckoffer for his outstanding achievements. Resolution by Representative Drenner, the 85th, congratulating Mrs. June Laverne Watson Butterfield on the occasion of her 75th birthday. Resolution by Representative Howard, the 124th, recognizing the committee Reverend Clyde Hill Sr. on his 40th pastoral anniversary. Resolution by Representative Jaspers, the 11th, commending Future Farmers of America, recognizing February 19th, 2013, Future Farmers of America Day at our state capitol. Resolution by Representative Abrams, 89th, honoring and celebrating the 75th birthday of Mary Dick Stocks. Resolution by Representative Setzler, the 35th, recognizing commending Bill Thrash on his outstanding accomplishments. Resolution by Representative Martin of the 49th, honoring the life and memory of Mr. Michael Coach Thomas Scott. Resolution by Representative Gazaway, the 28th, recognizing commending Christopher Irwin, Georgia's 2013 School Superintendent of the Year. Resolution by Representative Bentley of the 139th, recognizing commending the Cooperative Developmental Energy Program, CDEP, at Fort Valley State University. Resolution by Representative Stovall, 74th, recognizing commending the A.D. King Foundation. Resolution by Representative Neal, the 2nd, recognizing commending Ms. Carrington. Resolution by Representative Neal, the 2nd, recognizing commending Ann Garcia. Resolution by Representative Neal, the 2nd, recognizing commending Zoe Pace. Resolution by Representative Deffenbaugh, the 1st, recognizing commending Hunter Chadwick. Resolution by Representative Neal, the 2nd, recognizing commending Anna Vale through the privilege resolutions.
Is there objection to the adoption of the privilege resolutions? The chair hears none. The resolutions are adopted. If you have pages here today, they are now lining up for photographs. So find your group and be with them. We're going to do that immediately upon adjournment. We have several announcements. Chair recognizes the chairman of the Economic Development and Tourism Committee, Chairman Stevens, for an announcement. Just a minute, Mr. Chairman. We are still in session. Please give the members your attention while they are in the well. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, tomorrow is Pharmacy Day. You should see tens of thousands of white lab coats here. Come join us tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock for breakfast over at the depot. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Parrish for an announcement. Chairman Parrish.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just want to remind everyone that the Health Subcommittee of Appropriations will be meeting this afternoon at 2 o'clock, 506 CLOB, and this will be an opportunity for public comment on the 14 budget. It's this afternoon at 2 o'clock, 506 CLOB. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Randall for an announcement. Representative Randall.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Women's Caucus will meet at noon in room 506. That's 506. Notice the room change. 506 Women's Caucus. Hope to see you there.
Chair recognizes Chairman Maxwell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, regulated industries will meet at 3 o'clock, 515 in the CLOB. 3 o'clock, 515, regulated industries. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the majority leader for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I just wanted to go ahead and notify you ahead of time. Next Tuesday when we return, we'll be returning at 10 o'clock. I had many of you asked to come back at 1, but our appropriations committees have already scheduled lots of meetings beginning at 2, so we will be coming back in next Tuesday at 10 o'clock so that you can plan a little ahead with your schedule. 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Neal for an announcement. Chairman Neal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, State Properties will meet today at 3 o'clock in room 403 upstairs. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Yates for an announcement.
This applies to the Defense and Veterans Affairs Committee tomorrow at 8 o'clock in room 415C LOB. We'll be taking up 188, Hospital 188, and you hope to pass it this time. We took it up the other day. There's been a lot of work on it. This will be a big boost for veterans getting a job. Hope you can make it. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Williams for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is UGA Day at the Capitol, so if you've got those red and black neckties or outfits or scarves, let's bathe the hall in red and black. Thank you. Go Dog.
Chair recognizes Chairman Smith for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is for the Natural Resources and Environment Full Committee. It's a meeting tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in room 606 CLOB. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Golick for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Judiciary Non-Civil will meet at 2 o'clock this afternoon in room 132. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Geisinger for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Railway and Transit Subcommittee will meet in 40 minutes in 606. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Barbara Sims for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Information and Audits Committee will meet at 1 o'clock, room 403. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Harbin for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the Telecommunications Subcommittee of the Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications Committee will meet today at 4 o'clock in room 606 of the Coverdale Office Building. We will deal only with House Bill 176 today. That's at 4 o'clock in 606 Coverdale Office Building.
Chair recognizes Representative Dudgeon for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Academic Support Subcommittee of Education is meeting tomorrow at 12:30 and 5:15, talking about a bill around the teacher evaluation system. We're going to have a lot of testimony.
That completes our announcements. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move this House now adjourn until 10 a.m. Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2013.
On the motion of the Majority Leader that this House be adjourned until Thursday, February the 14th at 10 o'clock a.m. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes have it. This House will be adjourned until 10 o'clock a.m. Thursday, February the 14th.